Karen tried to evict my grandson. Too bad, she didn't know I owned the deed and the house. The summer sun beat down on Maple Street, but the real heat was in Karen Mitchell's voice as she stormed across my grandson Ethan's lawn, waving a flimsy eviction notice like a battle flag. Ethan, barely 20, stood frozen on the porch of the house I'd raised him in, his eyes wide with disbelief. Karen, our neighbor for 3 years, had always been a thorn, complaining about Ethan's skateboard, my roses, even the way we parked. But this was war. "You're out, kid," Karen shrieked, her manicured nails jabbing the air. "This house is mine now. I bought it fair and square." Her smug grin made my blood boil. I watched from my window, gripping the kitchen counter. Ethan's voice cracked as he protested. "This is my home. You can't just—" But Karen cut him off, tossing the notice at his feet. "Pack your bags, or I'll call the cops." I'd had enough. At 72, I don't move fast, but fury gave me wings. I grabbed the deed from my safe, the one proving I owned this house outright, and marched outside. The neighborhood was stirring. Curtains twitched, and old Mr. Jenkins peeked from his porch. Karen didn't see me coming. "What's this nonsense?" I demanded, my voice steady despite the tremor in my hands. She spun, her sneer faltering. "Stay out of this, Agnes. Your grandson's a squatter." Ethan's face crumpled, and something in me snapped. I held up the deed. "This says I own this house, Karen. Not you. Not anyone else." Her eyes narrowed, scanning the paper like it was a lie. "Impossible," she spat. "I paid cash to that realtor last week." That's when the twist hit me like a freight train. Realtor? No sale had been listed. I'd never spoken to anyone. Ethan's jaw dropped, mirroring my shock. Karen had been scammed. The air grew hotter, thicker. Karen's voice rose to a desperate pitch. "You're forging that deed. I'll both regret this." She lunged for it, but Ethan stepped between us, protective. "Back off," he yelled, and for a moment, I saw the man he was becoming, brave, like his mother, my daughter, who'd fought cancer in this very house. Karen stumbled back, wild-eyed. As neighbors gathered, phones out, capturing her unraveling. Then came the unexpected twist. Mrs. Lila, the quiet widow next door, stepped forward. She'd always kept to herself, but now her voice cut through the chaos. "Karen, I warned you about that realtor. He's been conning people for months." She held up her phone, showing a news alert about a fraud ring targeting homeowners. Karen's face drained of color, drained from her face. "No, I checked his license," she whispered, but the fight was gone. Lila's words hung heavy. "You were so eager to take their home, you didn't check hard enough." The truth sank in, and the crowd murmured. Karen hadn't just lost her money, she'd lost her crusade. I could have gloated, but all I felt was pity. She'd let greed blind her, tearing at the fabric of our community for a house that was never for sale. Ethan's eyes met mine, a mix of relief and anger. "She almost took everything, Gran." The police arrived, and Karen's defiance crumbled. She didn't resist as they questioned her, her shoulders sagging under the weight of her mistake. Ethan and I stood firm, the porch solid beneath us. But the victory was bitter. The house was ours, yes, but the trust we'd built here, the sense of safety, was cracked. Neighbors who'd once shared barbecues now whispered about lawsuits and scams. Karen's desperation had exposed a deeper rot, how quickly a community could turn on itself when money and pride were at stake. As the cop cars pulled away, I looked at Ethan, his backpack still slung over one shoulder. "We're staying," I said softly. He nodded, but his eyes were distant. Lila approached, offering a sad smile. "I should have spoken up sooner," she said. "I saw her with that man weeks ago." Her guilt mirrored mine. Why hadn't I confronted Karen's pettiness years ago? Maybe we could have stopped this mess before it spiraled. That night, Ethan and I sat on the porch, the deed safe in my lap. The house was ours, but at what cost? Karen's life was in shambles, her savings gone, her reputation shredded. We'd won the battle, but the war against greed, mistrust, division raged on. I thought of my daughter, who'd taught me that home isn't just walls. It's love, fought for daily. Karen had forgotten that. Maybe we all had. What do you think? Where does justice lie when greed and desperation tear a community apart?